Oh, wow. Starground. Cheers, Matt.
Oh, one of those days, huh? I'm just here with regular old Coke Zero. I'm not having that bad of a day or that good of a day. I don't know.
It's been a month.
I feel like there's a Lemon It's Wednesday joke in there,
Right.
dude. It's only the 5th or 4th
Fourth.
of May.
Well, see, I was debating on whether I was going to reveal that we're taping this the night before, or if I was just going to let people think I'm doing shots while my kid's just down for a nap.
Well, I think having heard you say that, it's good that I spilled the beans.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
jeez. Well, and hey, don't lie to the audience, right? Number one
yes.
rule: don't lie to the audience.
So yeah, it's Kris and Matt's Wrestling Pod 2.0, and yeah, we're recording on Thursday night. I'll still post this tomorrow afternoon, Friday afternoon, but yeah, we both had some things we got to do tomorrow, so it's like, well, let's just record after the kids go to bed on Thursday.
Yes, it's I texted you like I have something wrestling related tomorrow. And I was like, oh man, if I got to be there at this time, there's no way I'm gonna be able to do the pod. And then I was like, hey, can we move it up? And you're like, what about here? Like it was like a very like short time frame that it could work. It was like, let's just get it done now.
Well, it all hinged on my 2.5-year-old deciding he was gonna take a nap at a reasonable time in the early in the afternoon as opposed to not. And that just wasn't gonna, especially because like I got errands to run, so that always delays things. And yeah, so I was like, well, let's see if we can pull this off on Thursday.
And now I get to neglect my children for the benefit of the podcast. So
awesome. Fathers of the year right here.
Right. They don't want to talk to me. They're playing games and on their tablets. Supposed to be going to bed soon, but I know.
Yeah. So yeah, we're here to talk about wrestling. It's been an interesting week, Matt.
It is, but it feels more of it's just been stuff that we were kind of expecting, but the news has been official. It's official now. We're going to talk today about all-in ticket sales and just how that is I think surpassed most people's expectations. And then last night on Dynamite they finalized the 4 pillars are going to be going at it for the world title at Double or Nothing. So we've been waiting for this stuff to be official, so now we can talk about it like, oh yes, it's actually going to happen. So
what we will not be doing is a Backlash preview.
I was very caught off guard when I was reading something about Bad Bunny's match this weekend, and I'm like, oh wow, that's, for some reason I thought it was like the end of the month.
Yeah, no, it's
completely creeped up on me.
Yeah, it's tomorrow when you're when you all are watching this, but yeah, it's
right.
Saturday. So yeah, hooray!
Hey.
I'll be by myself, so I might watch it just cause. But more than likely, I'll probably just be playing MLB The Show.
That's probably the better use of your time, and then catch what you wanted to see on replay.
Yeah, I don't need to like, especially being by myself, I don't need to sit through watching Cody Rhodes lose to Brock Lesnar.
Sure. And he was officially drafted to.
I remembered it. I remembered it today.
Yay!
Adrenaline in my soul. New Funko Pop of Cody Rhodes.
I should just walk off.
I've been sitting on that for a week.
Good. Good God. Not to get sidetracked here, but as a wise man once said, I'm sick and I'm old and I'm hurt and I work with children.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I mean,
thanks for that, Kris.
I'm sitting in a room full of toys. Like...
I know. Hey, each their own. I like it. So, but no, I was gonna say. So Cody got drafted to Raw, right?
I don't want to talk about it. I want to be positive today. I don't want to talk about it.
No, I just so the brands have been split,
Mm-hmm.
correct? Then why did I get an advertisement tonight that Cody's going to be on SmackDown tomorrow
Because
night?
the rosters don't take effect
No.
until after Backlash.
Oh, okay. Okay. Nice. Was that announced like in the weeks ahead of time, or was that like, hey, we need someone to help us with our continuity here. We better
No,
write that into the script.
they mentioned it. I don't know if they mentioned it because I didn't watch either show, but I don't. They mentioned it on the show either Friday or Monday or both.
Okay.
So
okay. Fair enough.
So because they do that all the time. Like they wait and they have the draft while they're in the middle of a build to a pay per view.
Yeah.
And then they're like, So.
Oh yeah. Whatever.
You know. But anyhow. But we're not gonna waste our. Like I said, I want to be positive this evening, so we're not gonna waste our time on the Fed. We are gonna focus in on the All Elite Wrestling. And yeah, like we'll just start right the big news of the week. All in come on. There we go. The sales for All In are going gangbusters.
Yeah, the last I saw was
UK
50,000, right?
Yeah.
Or has it gotten even more?
Let me see. Let me pull up the latest tweet from Mr. Khan, and because he's got to update. Like you said, Salty Tony Khan's the best.
Yeah, well, that I mean, but also like in that situation when you've got an ESPN reporter just putting just false statements out there, like he's totally justified to correct the record and be like, no, that's not true at all. And anyway, like you were saying, let's be positive. Let's talk about the good news. That's
50,000 tickets sold, and that's 6.5 million American.
Right, and it's already the largest. Right, and it's the largest gate ever in Europe. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. I mean, look, for all the tribalism and nonsense that happens with wrestling fans, if you can't look at that and just feel like that's really impressive
mm-hmm.
for a wrestling company that is just coming into its 4th full year of operation, come on. Yeah. Like they deserve to be praised for that. Mm-hmm. And not just because like, and it should be celebrated by wrestling fans in general. Like, look how popular our favorite medium of entertainment is, that it's not just popular here, it's a worldwide phenomenon. And now more than one company is able to get in on it. It's great.
Yeah, and like, if I could speak to my fellow, at times, WWE tribalists, like, you don't need to, like, get, it doesn't need to hurt you if All In draws more than Clash at the Castle last year or whatever, because like number one, like it's London as opposed to Cardiff, Wales. Like there's a big difference as far as like ease of travel and stuff like that to the city. On second, like WWE makes like 2 UK trips every year.
Right.
Like they just got back from one, and then they'll be going back, they got another pay-per-view there, and then they usually do another tour in like November. So they'll probably be over there like 3 times this year.
Yeah, because the Money in the Bank is over there. There.
This is AEW's first time over there, and those people have been waiting for 4 years.
Right.
I said it a few weeks ago. Like I thought, we were, last summer when Dynamite finally came to Detroit, I thought we were like starved for it. And like those guys, at least we've had if we so chose, we've had opportunities to fly, travel. I mean, you did it. You went to
right.
All Out one year. Like if we so chose, we could have, without, any major travel, gone to a show.
Right. It was a reasonably affordable trip,
Yes.
You said I went and I think I spent $500 on the entire weekend, which is a lot of money to some people, and to others it's an afterthought. But that's not something hard to come up with if you wanted to do it.
Right. Whereas those the people in the UK, like they've been like, they would require transatlantic travel, like
right.
So. Yeah, it's going to be this first one's going to be huge. Like anyone who thought different and anyone who was hoping for different, like, just come on, man. Like, this is cool. Like, this is cool. This is gonna be like, I can't wait to see the show. Like,
Yeah, the atmosphere is going to be incredible.
yeah.
Those
So.
fans, like their crowds are already rowdy, and for something like this, and like especially with wrestling, I feel like wrestling fans now who are super passionate about the product are gonna look at like Wembley in '92 and how great that crowd was, and just be like, we're gonna be bigger. We're and just last year, Clash of the Castle, excuse me, like that they were incredibly fun crowd to just watch from home. Now they got to amp it up a little more because they're the bigger an even bigger show has now come to their area. So I expect that atmosphere to be outstanding.
Yeah. Yeah. No. It's
and now with I'm sorry to cut you
no.
off.
Go
And now
ahead.
with we know 50,000 have already been sold. When the general on sale, like 80,000 a realistic, like, is it a target? Is it a reachable target?
I think so, because here's what's gonna happen. The general on sale is gonna go happen, tomorrow or whatever it is, with the time zone difference. Um, and it's gonna do pretty well, and then it's gonna look like it's gonna stall, and then your boy's gonna come back in June, and that's gonna, yeah, exactly, like, uh again, as much of a hater I'm also a realist, and once he comes back, that's gonna bring a whole bunch of new interest in in people buying
Well,
tickets for that.
and to support that point too, unlike WWE, AEW has a really good working relationship with multiple big companies all over the world. Obviously, a name like Will Ospreay's already said he'd love to be involved, and that would be great. But for the fans in England, if they're able to do something with one of the local promotions and get a guy that those fans there all know, get him on the show,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to be able to add even more people who might just be like, yeah, it's going to be a good wrestling show. Oh, the guys from New Japan are coming too. I'm going to get to see a dream match that's not just an AEW match. Like, let me get a ticket now. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's just once they start announcing matches, it's going to drive interest even more. And that's the other thing is they've just sold all these tickets. We don't even know one match on the card.
Right.
That's WrestleMania. That's Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
That's
SummerSlam.
WWE's tentpole events are sight unseen as a sellout, and that's what AEW just did. It's awesome.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so we gotta get through Double or Nothing here in a couple weeks, and then Forbidden Door, and then we can start kind of looking forward and seeing what we got going heading into All In, and then right after that, All Out. So
This summer is going to be packed for them.
Yeah,
because you mentioned the schedule, but you also forgot the Canada tour, which is going to be the Owen Hart Cup is going to be a big part of that.
Yep. Collision
and
debut of Collision,
right, which isn't official yet, but looks. I mean, it's another one of these. We're just waiting for them to send out the press release that says, "Here's the."
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
But then also in the summer they always do Fight for the Fallen and Fighter Fest, and those are big. Those are the pay-per-view quality shows that
the special
they like
Dynamites.
Yeah. So like, and then that leads right into All In. So it's. I mean, we're about to hit. This is kind of almost like WrestleMania season for AEW.
It really is. Yeah. If you think about it, the stretch from Double or Nothing through All In is kind of like their stretch from Rumble to Mania.
It's a little bit longer, but I mean, that's when the big matches are. And like you said, in the middle of all that, the lightning rod of professional wrestling is going to make his return. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
I just want him to come out and like set up a card table in the middle of the ring and just start playing Uno with a bunch of people.
Right.
Him, Adam Cole, and Claudio would just start playing Uno.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, they could get someone to put on Woods' wig.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
yeah.
Put one of the little unicorns on. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
What's Breezy up to? He works for Impact, right?
no, he's employed. Like he's obviously not wrestling, but I think he's like on some sort of deal with WWE because he's still on up, down, down and stuff like that. So
Oh, okay. I knew there was some
and
change
he's
there,
in the
but
game. So as a general
oh
manager.
yeah, as a GM, yeah.
So
Actually, he's given me problems in my GM mode on the game.
oh, is
Actually,
he?
I'm not a big fan of the Tyler Breeze
Oh,
GM card.
breezy, breezy, breezy. Prince Petty.
Right.
Anything else about All In?
No, just man, good. It's great news. Love to see it.
Absolutely. So Double or Nothing, as I said, is in a few weeks, and we've got our main event. I'm just like, look, that's just a hill I'm gonna die on until the show gets here, and I look. I hope once the show happens and the dust settles, and I'm like, okay, no, they made the right choice. But from where I'm sitting right now, like it just feels like this isn't a main event match. Even though I like all
Fair
four,
enough.
even though I like all four guys, but when
Yeah,
you
I don't. I mean, go ahead.
no, I just mean when you've got when potentially on the other, you've also got a match that's going to have Brian and Mox and Kenny and Hangman and the Buck. Like,
I get it. There's a lot of star power in the
yeah,
other match. I get it. I get it.
It's not the same, but it's it's the Rock, Hogan, Jericho, Triple H debate.
Well, yeah, right.
So, but anyways, last night on Dynamite, we made it official, as Adam Pearce would like to say. We are getting our Four Pillars Fatal 4-Way at Double or Nothing for the AEW World Title.
Right.
Courtesy
right.
of a Four Pillars tag match, which was a lot of fun.
You know, I'll be honest. I haven't seen all of Dynamite yet. Part of us having to throw this together,
Yeah.
I hadn't had time to get through like watching the actual. So I know what happens, but I didn't see the.
It's a lot. So there was a lot of old school stuff on the show last night. Let's just that I just appealed to me. And one of them was during this match. The whole they kept doing a spot where Jungle Boy kept trying to get in the ring to save Darby, and the ref was holding him back.
Cuts him off, yeah.
And so while the ref is dealing with Jack, MJF and Sammy are taking turns with the scarf choking Darby. And then finally the tables get turned and Darby has the scarf and he's choking Sammy. And now Jack is intentionally like pulling the the referee away.
Yeah.
So that Darby can get his come up and get his licks in on Sammy behind the ref's back. It was just fun. It was a lot of fun.
It's Gaga,
yes,
but
yes. Yeah. So, but it's where we all thought we were going from the Wednesday after Revolution, and now we're here.
Yeah. It's a match. You can do it now, and then if they wanted to revisit it in 18 months to 2 years, if all four guys are still in the company, it's one of those storylines where like it works now. It makes sense because it's been a few years since the concept of the pillars was announced, and the fan bases, we know the term.
Mm-hmm.
You can do this match, and then I think everyone expects MJF to win. And then maybe the other three, it becomes a story just involving them of who's the one that gets to chase Max down themselves, or so it works now, but it lays a foundation for some long form storytelling that they can draw from for years. And they've done a really good job of referencing their history in the company together as it is. So it's not my favorite thing that they've ever done. but I understand it. It's easy to follow, and all four performers are great, in their own way. So
Yeah.
it should
I'm
be a fun match.
so I don't want people to get like I'm definitely happy they're doing it because uh you don't want to get in a situation where you look back and you're like, we should have done that match and now we can't.
Yeah.
I.e., a four horsewoman match at WrestleMania, like,
Yep.
or
The Shield
the
at
Shield triple threat at
WrestleMania.
WrestleMania. They did it at some B pay per view, might have even been a C pay per view, but like, they did it, but not really, and
Right.
they never, now that's likely never to happen. So it's good to do it while you got it. It's kind of, I don't know. I was excited for it when the first, we've talked about it when that first promo happened. I was excited for it, but like a lot of things, that happened in AEW, it's just kind of the in between has just kind of lacked. Like the stuff with MJF and Sammy has been good.
Yeah.
But everything else is just kind of like either rehash of what they've already done or just not very interesting at all. And now that the match is announced with a few weeks to go, hopefully they kind of kick things in high gear and make me think that it should be the main event,
Sure.
Convince me.
Talk me into the building,
Exactly.
brother.
Exactly.
Yeah. um yeah, you hit the nail on the head with the rehashing and it kind of goes back to what I was saying last week about MJF has kind of separated himself from the other pillars, but hopefully now, like you were saying, the other three, the highlight is really on making them feel like legit threats to knock him off. And that's what they just got to do for the next 2 or 3 weeks. And like I said, I don't think there's any way MJF doesn't walk out, but you can at least find another way to make these characters even more appealing so that when they come out of this, it's still on the up for them and not like, well, they lost to MJF and they're back at the bottom of the totem pole.
Yeah, I think this is a really nice stopgap. Because again, we've had this conversation too. Like, I don't know, because we don't, neither one of us feel like MJF is losing the title anytime soon. What do you do in the meantime that's not like where the person comes out not for the worse,
Yeah.
because
And this is,
yeah, and it's three guys that on their own you wouldn't think any of them would be challenging for the title, but seeing as it's all three of them challenging, like it's more believable, I think.
Sammy could pin Darby and become champion. Yeah.
Right. So
It's, I was thinking about it. It's easy to say, well, like to avoid this whole thing, they could have just done it when Punk had to drop the belt. They could have just been like, you know what? We're not playing games anymore. We're going to go with our pillars, and those four men are going to have a match. And then Moxley could have taken the vacation he went. But I get to they had already brought MJF back and knew where they were going with him.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
get him the belt. That's fine too. But yeah, it would have been nice if there was a little more of a question mark on who's winning the match.
Yep. I agree. Anything else on that?
No, sir.
All right. One of the other things that was very old school that I liked last night, and this is what I texted you about last night when I asked if you were watching Dynamite. So the opening contest was the 8-man tag, right? With the JAS versus Cole and Roddy and OC and Bandito. And Jericho was on commentary, and he was doing his best Bobby Heenan, because he kept talking about what a coward Adam Cole was, that he let the love of his life get beat up right in front of him.
Right.
And he didn't do anything about it.
Sure. I know a lot of people don't like Jericho on commentary because he's so outlandish. What I don't like is just how loud it is, and I don't mean like loud obnoxious. I mean like the actual volume.
Yes.
It's hard to like that drives me nuts. But the screaming in the yell.
He uses his frontman voice.
Yeah.
Instead of his, just his podcast voice which is what he should use.
Right. Well, I don't even know. I love the over animated stuff, but he's screaming at people. Like I like that stuff. I just sometimes when I'm watching it, it spikes the audio, and I'm like like it hurts the ear physically. But stuff like that is missing. Like that's the sort of stuff that heels can do to still get boos in 2023. And Jericho's a master. He knows. He just knows he can do it all, and that's another facet of his game.
And Shivani was playing right into his hands too, because he's like, he's like, "What are you talking about, Kris? You had him handcuffed. He couldn't, And Jericho's like, "All I know is that if it were me, there wasn't anything anyone could do. I'd move heaven and earth. If it was the woman I loved."
Right. It's good heel work. That's fantastic.
So the baby faces win, and Cole immediately makes a beeline up to commentary to take out Jericho. They brawl, and Jericho gets Cole kicked out of the building. For doing his best Shawn Michaels unsafe work environment type stuff.
Yeah.
And then Britt comes up and slaps him a couple times and stuff.
I've seen that clip.
Yeah. So, and then that's not the last time we see Britt Baker that last night. We know who our third woman is to battle the Outcasts.
Yep.
Hikaru Shida.
Which would have been nice a month ago.
I think she's been
when
hurt.
Right. And that's that's unfortunate, but it's kind of slowed the storyline that there hadn't been some sort of explanation given.
Right.
But I think it was a couple weeks ago you had kind of hinted that you think the next Blood and Guts in AEW is going to be the Originals and the Outcasts. Well, I think we're here now.
Yeah, we'll see. Because I guess they could do 3-on-3, but that's not very. It's not very war gamesy. So I'd like at least again call back to the ocean. You think we need one more? Let's get one more. Like I think each side needs one more, and I don't know who that is for each side, but if that's what they want to do. If they just want to do a trios match at Double or Nothing, I'm fine with this. I think this is a good teams here to go at it. So
yeah, and it actually sounds like a few of the women that would be in that match are still banged up. So I wonder if physically they would even be able to get all 6 of them in the ring for a match. Maybe it might end up just being a one-on-one, and then the other 4 are involved in some way. Because it sounds like Britt's still pretty been dealing with some back issues, and Saraya's been banged up. So
she wrestled last night and looked, pretty good. So
they're good. Let's
So,
hope they can get it all in there, because they've spent and one of the bigger criticisms people have of AEW is that they haven't spent enough time focusing on female-driven storylines, and they put a lot of time into this. So it'd be great if they actually pull a couple headlining matches out of it, because all 6 women are awesome in the ring. So let's.
Yeah, you could do the trios on an episode of Dynamite and do a couple different matches at the pay-per-view that you could have Jamie defend, but I think she's pretty much defended the title against all 3 women. Well, I don't think she's done Saraya yet, or Saraya wasn't Saraya in the
4-way,
the 4-way at the pay-per-view.
At Revolution,
but she hasn't done a one-on-one with her. So I guess they could do that. I think they might save that for All In, to be honest, if they can push it out that far. But yeah, I mean, they got multiple ways they can go from this. So,
Right.
let's see, just a few other things. So they announced they hyped that we were going to hear from the Elite, but
You're right.
we just heard from
It was,
Kenny.
you're right. Well, he speaks on behalf of the group.
Big match next week, Matt.
Yeah. Him and Moxley in a steel cage. I guess Detroit is just going to be the place where they do steel cage matches.
I guess. Yeah, I got definite FOMO. It sucks. I'm not gonna be able to be there. Just logistically, it's just not gonna work out for me. But you will be.
Yeah. It's I'll be there. I'll be freaking out probably on the inside, but it will be a work assignment. So if anyone sees me there and I'm just kind of sitting there, not jumping up and down and screaming, it's because I'm there for work, and I was taught to be a professional when you're on duty. So,
right. Yeah.
If you've seen my video from All Out from last year's Blood and Guts, when Moxley runs up to him, and I may have let an F-bomb or walked up right in front of us, and I let out a few F-bombs. That will not be happening next Wednesday, I promise, to anyone from work who might see this.
Yes. He'll be there suited and booted, and
I'll have a nice jacket on.
There you go. Yeah. So I'm looking for. All right. Let's call our shots. Do we see Hangman next week?
I think so.
Yeah, of course we will.
They're in the cage. I mean, come on. They're in the cage, beating him down. The Bucks try to come make the save. Takeshita comes down, and they just can't break through. And then that the old cowboy shows up and starts kicking ass.
Yeah.
No, I think the bigger question is, do we get the embrace of the 4, or does that come after they finally defeat the Blackpool Combat Club?
I think that's going to come after they defeat the Combat Club, because I think Kenny's. So here's what and it's not really my idea. A lot of people have been speculating this. I think Don's getting ready to turn on Kenny.
Yeah.
And Takeshita might be involved with that as well. But yeah, so I think we might get that payoff next week in the cage match. And then, Hangman comes down, like you said, to make the save, and they'll do the match, but Kenny will still be, because again, in all fairness, and I said I was going to be positive, and like I'm not going to be negative. I just wish.
I think I know where you're going. You want me to say it for you?
Go ahead.
Because I think I know where you're going. You wish they wouldn't be doing all of this background on BTE, where the layers of Kenny's mistrust of the situation is not at all on the TV show.
Right. Well, the only thing we've gotten is last night during his backstage promo. Right. He talked about all the things the BCC had done to him and the Bucks and Takeshita and Don, and he obviously left out Hangman. So, but again, because they haven't been hammering it home, like I don't know if the general public picked up on that. Like I picked, like as soon as he started going through the list, I'm like, oh, is he going to say Hangman? And he did. Yeah. And I'm like, okay. But I don't know how much other people are gonna pick up on that.
Sure.
I just tell it, because this whole thing is a product of BTE. By all means, tell the story there, but you've gotta find some way of bringing everyone else up to speed, even if it's just commentary, even if you're not showing clips, even if it's just commentary. Excalibur or Tony or somebody. Saying, this past week on BTE, this happened,
And while they're talking about it, they can run the little lower third that has the little YouTube link,
Right.
Yeah.
So,
right.
That's just because I know I'm excited for, and maybe that's why this match won't main event, because I'm looking at it through the hardcore, like I've I've gone on record, the story with Hangman and the Elite heading into from the time that the company started all the way through Full Gear, I thought was uh definitely the best thing up until the Bloodline, and I mean they're neck and neck, like as far
Not
as,
according to Takeshita.
well, right, yeah, and Kenny. I mean Kenny agreed with him, so
Right. Which is another great little like BTE bit from
yeah,
this week's episode.
yeah.
So like, yeah, I just I don't know if I can do another version of the fractures in the Elite.
Well,
Like
this has got to be them coming together, right? Like this has got to be like bringing it back full circle.
Yeah, but we've already done the thing where one of the members didn't trust one of the others, and it was like, well, I'll be there to fight with you guys, but I'm not sure if I can really trust you. So I just don't want to see that again. And it feels like what we're gonna get is when Hangman comes back, Kenny is just he's never, like, until the match happens, he's not going to trust Hangman or want Hangman around, and I don't want to see that again. We've already done that as part of the story.
I guess I'm okay with it, because it won't be some long dragged out thing at this point. It'll only be a few weeks, and then also,
you sure about that?
Well, yeah.
You sure about that? I mean, come on. The one thing these guys don't do is snappy storylines.
True. Yeah, I mean, so maybe we don't even get this match at Double or Nothing. Maybe it's pushed back, and maybe it is Takeshita as the fourth man at Double or Nothing, and the turn happens there. But I that would be very disappointing to me. But we'll see. But no, I'm looking forward to, like, I hope they do a callback. I don't know if you remember, but they did that leading up to Revolution. They did that real nice piece of business. They did the sit down with the four of them before the tag team match with JR.
Yep.
And it'd be nice if they did a callback to that,
Yeah, sit them all down again.
Yeah, 3 years after the fact, and with all the water that's gone under the bridge, since then, and kind of play off of that, and and see where things are at. So
yeah, I mean, not to belabor this one story, talking about this one storyline, but I felt like that promo actually helped make the match as great as the match is. That promo beforehand, it almost feels like it was, if you watch it on the DVD, they splice into it, I believe, and it's spliced the interview in before the match, and it's just like it helps make that whole night even more special. So I'm all for that, and we've talked before too about how, like, that's where JR shines best right now, and that would be a perfect way to just give it that level of seriousness to the fan, because it's JR, that professionalism, and like you said, it's a callback for the people that have been following along for almost 4 years now.
Yeah. Are you gonna let me wax poetically about how great Jeff Jarrett is?
Yeah, go ahead. I got a phone here. Go ahead.
No, I don't know if you saw the bit of them showing up to the chicken farm
right.
Mark with all the chores.
Yeah, and Mark handed the baby to Satnam and just ran off.
Satnam in just the coveralls.
Yeah, he was playing the guitar, and yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, no, that was great. when Papa Briscoe showed up and Jeff's like, "Here, take my rocker."
Yeah, it's Southern manners, right?
Exactly.
Good for Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah, he's getting another title match on pay-per-view. I mean, God bless.
Like you said, His how do you describe it? God bless his ability to find a paycheck in
Yeah.
wrestling. Okay,
Hall of Fame bag getter is what Jeff Jarrett is.
it's on the Mount Rushmore. Okay.
he is. He is. I'm interested with this. What they call it? House Rules or whatever with the House of Black. Where I don't. Oh, so
I must have missed this.
okay. So they did a segment, and House Rules is what they're calling the house shows. So I don't know if that's what it's some play on the house though. And basically is like anyone can come challenge them for the trios titles, but it's like there's all these different rules, like 20-second countouts, no rope breaks, and a couple other things. Like it was just go back and watch this. I'm not doing that justice. Okay. It was a good vignette with them.
But here, like, so just the way you're describing it is, at these house shows, any three people can show up and challenge them.
I don't think it's tied to the house shows. That's why I'm thinking I'm getting the name
okay
wrong.
Even if it's not, that's an incredible little way to make that title even more unique.
Right. Well, apparently because they can't figure out like an actual feud for them since they won the belts. This is their way of
How do you not find a feud? That whole company is like littered with stables.
I don't know. I'm just saying, like, they're barely on TV.
That too, yeah.
So, like, this is a way to get them some defenses on TV or whatnot, and without having to put forth effort of coming up with an actual feud and storyline for them.
That's right, dude. With the way they, especially with all the Forbidden Door stuff coming up, you know, they're going to have a ton of international talent flowing through the show in the next few weeks. Man, that's a great idea. You could get some of these groups from Japan over here.
Yeah.
And oh man, I love that. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, they had the Trios Battle Royal last night too, which the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn won, and they didn't specifically say it was the winner got a title shot, but like, why not?
At this point? Why wouldn't it be that?
Yeah. So
wait, are the Acclaimed going to be would they be the first tag champion trios champions then?
No, the Young Bucks are. Young Bucks and Lucha Brothers, they're both.
Right. Oh yeah, I guess you're right. Never mind.
Yeah. So Billy Gunn would be the first WWF Tag Team Champion Trios, AEW Trios Champion, I think. Sure.
I think we need more belts. I think that's the solution to this is more championships.
Exactly. Championships everywhere. Yeah. Is there anything else? I don't think so.
No. It's
Trinity showed up at Impact.
Yeah, and she's had some things to say about why she left WWE, which, you know, not surprising. She said she was talked to in a way she didn't appreciate, and I mean that company has a history
that checks out.
Yeah, and also, you know, sometimes it's just like I've heard this enough where I need to get out of here. It's time to move on, and there's no doubt in my mind she'll do great things down there, and. I mean, would it shock anybody if this time next year she's back in the fold in WWE?
No.
If the right deal comes along?
No, yeah.
No.
But this will give her, because, you know, this will give her a chance to prove what she can do outside of there.
Right.
So.
You and I have talked about this. I've always thought Naomi, when as Naomi, she's Trinity now. She dropped the Fatu, right? She's just straight Trinity, I think.
Yeah, she's not using her last name. She's just using Trinity.
But you and I always thought she was way underrated in the ring.
Naomi was awesome.
When the Four Horsewomen came up and they were kind of doing like the the NXT style matches on the main roster, it felt like Naomi got ignored, and it wasn't fair because she's really really good.
Yep.
And her presentation, her look, the way her entrance, like everything about her was different and done so well. I'll never understand how they didn't do more with her.
Yeah. Well, I have an idea, but it's not for me to put that out there. That's for other people to talk about. So
fair enough.
But yeah, so I think nothing else crazy has happened this week, has it?
I mean, crazy stuff has happened. A fake AEW Collision roster came out tonight that apparently has like Zack Ryder and I think Mercedes Moné on it. Like the for like 20 minutes there, it was like Twitter was losing its mind because a leak had come out.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, no, I've been not anything conscious. It's not like, well, I'm gonna be. It's just the way life is. Like I'm barely on Twitter. It seems like lately. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing either. It's just like I said, it's not like
you're not missing anything.
It's not like but I feel like I am because when I do get on, I see everyone talking about stuff, and I'm like, what happened?
Yeah, but then you find out what it's about, and you're like, really? Like all this energy, like this is what it was. This is what it boiled down to. Like, it's wrestling. The wrestling's just a lot more fun when I don't pay attention to other wrestling fans.
Fair enough. All right, cool. Well, a cool 46 minutes this week.
Yeah, we had to kind of work quick.
Well, I mean, since we recorded tonight, we didn't really have to, I guess, but it's kind of nice that we did.
Well, I needed to. Well, my wife is very understanding, but also
fair.
You keep your nerd talk brief tonight because we were watching Succession. We're trying to get through that as the series finale is coming up, and she's like, "You're cutting into my TV time." So
I understand. Well, this is cutting into my MLB The Show time, so.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, full disclosure, I'm hoping this show goes on and then she falls asleep and then I can pick up those sticks and start hitting some homers.
Hitting some dingers.
I'm at like 780 on the ranked season. I'm right up to championship series.
Nice.
Try to make that push for World Series, but I don't think I've got enough in me.
Yeah. So. All right. Well, we'll call it a day then, and we'll be back next week Matt can give his live report from Dynamite and all kinds of stuff. Well, if anything crazy happens at Backlash, I guess we'll talk about that. I guess we could talk about who's going to be the first WWE World Heavyweight Champion.
If you really want to.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. If we're hurting for content.
Yeah, we'll get there at some point. Yeah. Real quick, this is second week in the row, I'm going to plug something. I did publish that story about my interview with Wardlow.
See, that went I'm not online, so I miss it. So
yeah, that went up this morning. Like I said, it was a really good chat with him. When I got to writing it, there was stuff in that he gave me that I didn't even get to include in the story because unfortunately, I'm not producing it for a wrestling publication. I've got an audience that doesn't care about 2,500 words.
Send that stuff to Jeremy.
Maybe I will. But for anyone watching or anyone listening, please, if you're going to be at the show next week in Detroit, I'm going to be down there looking for fans to talk to. I'm going to be doing a story just about how wrestling, the Detroit is kind of the epicenter of wrestling this summer. The biggest shows coming. That was kind of one of the things I was hoping to do is run into some of the recognizable fans that you see at a lot of shows in the area and maybe do a story about the diehard fans too. So if you're going to be down there, leave us a comment, send me a message on Twitter. just reach out to us. I'd love to meet up and say hi, and just get your feelings about how our neck of the woods is kind of wrestling central right now, in its own little way. So, like I said, if you're going to be out there, please let me know. I'd love to say hi, and maybe we can get some for a story for me for my personal life or my professional life, not my personal life. Excuse me.
Hell yeah. Yeah, we don't generally plug Matt's Twitter on here. But it at mder84 if you want to, like he said, reach out to him, and you guys can maybe meet up and chat at the show. You can follow me at Ibanez Kris. Again, I won't be at the show, but you can reach out to me too and chat. I'm friendly. And then follow the show account at KM Wrestling Pod on Twitter. Subscribe to the channel here, musicandmoonsalts.com. Leave a thumbs up on the video. Leave a comment. Tell us what you think about Double or Nothing. What should main event? All that good kind of stuff. And until next week, see ya.